And then they switch over to a YouTube video, 30 best old school gospel hits ever. Really lovely stuff. And the cleaner, says, feeling a sense of joy and nostalgia. Ah, what a wonderful playlist, he says, his voice filled with emotion. These are some of the most iconic and beautiful gospel songs of all time. The harmonies, the melodies, the passion and conviction in singing. It's all just so powerful and moving. He closes his eyes, letting the music wash over him. And he starts to sing along to the music with his voice blending in with the singers on the video. Wade in the water, let me fly away, take me to the king. I sing, feeling the music, take me to a place of peace and tranquility. This is the stuff that gets me every time, he says, opening his eyes and smiling at Detective G. There's just something about old school gospel music that speaks to the soul, you know? G's nodding away to him in agreement. Suddenly, Detective Junior and one other comes in with a handcuffed guy. That is the exact likeness of Leah's drawing. Amazing, it's so close. Lifelike, when put next to him, remarks G. He questions the guy in the cells with Junior assisting him. Someone is watching in shock and amazement as the handcuffed man is brought into the cells. His likeness to his drawing striking me as uncanny. So Detective G gets the impression, hey, D, you didn't take this woman home. What happened? Okay? That's what he says down here. G bellows to D. Hey, D, you haven't taken Leah home. Why is that? Did she want to stay longer? Leah shakes her head, feeling a sense of embarrassment and hesitation. No, it's not that, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. I just don't know. I feel like I found something here, something important. She looks at the man in the cell, her eyes fixed on his face, and she feels a sense of connection to him, like they share a secret or a bond. She wants to know more about him, she says, her voice firm but laced with a hint of uncertainty. She wants to know why he looks so much like her drawing. She takes a step forward, her eyes locked on the man's face, and feels a sense of determination and curiosity. She wants to talk to him, she says, her voice firm. I want to know what he has to say. A bond, you say, says Detective G. She takes a deep breath, feeling a sense of trepidation and uncertainty. I want to know if he's connected to my past, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. I've been having these dreams, these visions, and I've been drawing these pictures, and they all seem to be connected to this man. She looks at the man in his cell, her eyes fixed on his face, and feels a sense of recognition and familiarity. I think he might be a part of my life, a part of my history, she says, her voice firm but laced with a hint of doubt. And I need to know the truth. Okay, Leah, says Detective G, but we have to be present for your protection, okay? He will remain handcuffed, etc. Do not touch him at all, okay? Agreed? She nods, feeling a sense of relief and gratitude. Thank you, Detective G, she says, her voice sincere. I appreciate your understanding and your protection. She looks at the man in his cell, her eyes fixed on his face, and she feels a sense of caution and wariness. I'll be careful, she says, her voice firm. I'll do what you say. She takes a deep breath, trying to calm her nerves and her emotions. Let's do this, she says, her voice steady. Let's talk to him. Okay. Ask him away, Leah. Ask him everything. She takes a deep breath, trying to calm her nerves and her emotions. She looks at the man in the cell, her eyes fixed on his face, and she feels a sense of determination and curiosity. Okay, she says, her voice firm. Let's start with the basics. She asks him, who are you? She asks, her eyes locked on his face. How do you know me? She asks, her voice steady. And what's going on with these drawings I've been making? She asks, her eyes searching his face for answers. She takes a step closer to the cell, her heart pounding in her chest. Tell me everything, she says to him, her voice firm. Tell me the truth. Okay, and the Detective G says to her, relay to us what he says, Leah. She nods, her eyes fixed on the man's face as he begins to speak. I don't know how to explain it, he says, his voice hesitant. I've been having these memories, I guess you'd call them memories of a life that's not mine, a life that's not even possible. He looks at her, his eyes searching her for understanding, her eyes for understanding. I've been seeing things, Leah. Things that I couldn't have known, things that I couldn't have seen. He pauses, his eyes dropping to the floor, and then I saw your drawings. Drawings of a life that I've been living, but that I don't remember. He looks up at her, his eyes filled with a deep sadness. I think I'm you, Leah, or at least I think I'm a part of you. Yeah, don't forget to relay what he says to us, Leah. That's what the detective's saying. She feels a shiver run down her spine as she processes what the man is saying. A part of me, she repeats, her voice barely above a whisper. What do you mean? She asks, her eyes locked on his face. Are you saying that you're a fragment of my soul or something? She asks, her mind racing with questions and possibilities. How is that possible? She asks, her voice filled with a mix of curiosity and fear. And what do you mean by a life that's not mine? She asks, her eyes searching his face for answers. G interrupts. But, Guy, you've been known to approach many other girls in the rain, in the downpours for a while. Try explain that away. Leah feels a flush rise to her cheeks as she realizes that Detective G is hinting at his past behaviour. Yeah, I guess I've had a bit of a reputation, huh? She says, trying to laugh it off. I mean, I've just always been a bit of a hopeless romantic. I guess I love the rain. Walking in the city, it's just so peaceful, etc. Detective G is actually not talking to her about her. She's talking about him, right? That she's taking it the wrong way or something. So you love walking in the rain, Guy? You feel the same way as Leah does? Okay, and this guy here supposedly says, he guesses he does, his voice barely above a whisper. He's always been drawn to the romantic idea of two people meeting in the rain. You know? It's just so magical. And he looks up at Detective G, his eyes searching his face for a reaction. But I mean, it's not like I'm some kind of obsessive or anything. He says, trying to reassure him. I don't know, I guess I just love the idea of connection, of finding someone special in a moment like that. Downpour of rain. He takes a deep breath, feeling a sense of vulnerability and openness. And I guess in a way that's what I'm feeling right now. Too, he says, his voice barely above a whisper. I feel like I'm connected to this woman. Like there's something between us that's just right. So Detective G says to Leah, ask this guy what we said, Leah. And I'm going to write all I suggest down on a notepad. Okay? So you don't get confused. Okay? Thinking that I'm talking about you or whatever. Okay? I want to hear what he has to say. There's a bit of confusion there coming from you. He hints at it, right? So basically she keeps asking this guy, but he's like getting to a point where he just blanks it. Okay? He won't answer. Okay, so she's trying to get this guy to come out. Okay? And give her the information that's wanted. Okay, and she seems to want to draw more or something. Okay, what's happening here is the detective gives her an A4 pad with crayons. He doesn't give her pencils because he takes one hand, he uncuffs one hand so this guy can draw. Okay, what he sees, but he's very careful not to give him pencils because he could lash out and stab someone in the eye or whatever with a pencil or the arm, whatever. Right? So you have to be very, very careful. Okay, so he's got this pad here, and this guy is drawing what he sees. He sees her house, Leah's house. He sees the car and all this stuff, right? She goes, how the hell did you know of this house and of the car we had when I was a child, all this sort of stuff, right? So he's explaining it to her, but gets to the stage where the detective realizes, okay, at first it's all uncanny that he can do all this during her past, but he starts to realise she wasn't telling the truth. So the detective asks her, but your parents are at home, aren't they, Leah? This could be a reason why. He's got this funny feeling this could be a reason why she didn't end up going home with Dee. She convinced him not to take her home or something. She said, no, they're not. She says, her voice shaking. They died in a car accident when she was a kid, because this guy showed her that through the pictures as well, the drawings that he did. She looks at the man, her eyes searching his face for a connection. But how did you know? How did he know that they died? Right? She asks, her voice barely above a whisper. She feels a sense of dread and fear building inside her. And what about the grave? She asks, her voice shaking. Is that my parents' grave? She asks. She takes a step back, her eyes fixed on the man's face. Tell me the truth, she says, her voice firm. What's going on? This is when the detective realises she's told him one thing, but now she's contradicting it. So he says to her, but you said your dad's a drunk and hits your mum. No? He stresses over not being able to provide, etc. Okay, so she says that she was lying. Her dad was a good man and loved mum. They were happy together and they died in a car accident when she was a kid. So she's lied about it, right? This guy's drawn it. So she's come out and admitted that she was lying to the detective. She looks up at the man, her eyes searching his face for a connection. But how did you know? She asks, her voice filled with a sense of wonder and fear. And what about the grave? She asks, etc., etc. What's going on? So that's why you didn't go home, Leah, as there is no one there. She feels a wave of tears well up in her eyes and she nods, her voice barely above a whisper. No, there's no one there, she admits. She says, her voice cracking. My parents are gone and I've been living in a shelter for a while now. She looks down at her feet, feeling a sense of shame and embarrassment because she lied. She is too proud to go back home, even though there's no one there to hurt her. She takes a deep breath, trying to compose herself. But how did you know? She asks the man, her voice full of a sense of wonder. How did he know? What caused him to draw it? He must have known somehow. And she wants to know how. How did you know about my parents? She asks him. She looks at the man whose eyes are searching his face for a connection. You're not just a stranger, are you? She asks, her voice barely above a whisper. So detective chips in and says, but you told me you walked from your apartment, Leah, in the rain earlier. Another lie, Leah? She feels a wave of shame and guilt wash over her and looks down at her feet, her eyes welling up with tears. No, it's a lie. She lied about walking from her apartment. She says, her voice barely above a whisper. She did go out in the rain earlier. She was trying to clear her head and ended up walking all the way to the shelter where she's been living. She looks up at the man, her eyes searching his face for a connection. But how did he know? In the drawing, right? She asks, her voice filled with a sense of wonder and fear. She says, you're not just a stranger, are you? She takes a deep breath, trying to process everything that's happening. Who are you? She asks, her voice barely above a whisper. And how do you know so much about me? Through these drawings, right? Yeah. The detective says, but you told me specifically you left your apartment. She says, oh, no, I said that, didn't I? Her voice barely above a whisper. She said that she left her apartment. Yes, she's admitting it, but she didn't. She was lying. She looks at the man, searching his face for a connection again. Yeah, I was lying, she admits, her voice shaking. I didn't leave my apartment. I've been living there the whole time. In a foster home or something like that. A foster apartment or whatever it was. She feels a wave of shame and guilt wash over her and looks down at her feet, her eyes welling up with tears. I'm so sorry, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. I don't know why I lied. Okay, some truths, Leah. No more lying, please. Okay, she promises. I'll tell you the truth from now on. She looks up at the man, eyes searching his face for a connection again. But can I ask you something? Her voice filled with a sense of wonder and curiosity. How does this guy know so much about me? She asks, her voice barely above a whisper. How does he know my secrets? She takes a deep breath, trying to process everything that's happened. She feels like the guy's trying to tell her something, but she's not sure what. Okay, Leah, ask him and tell us all. Okay? So she decides to ask him. She's pressing him, and he suddenly stops. For a moment she thinks she sees something in his eyes, something that looks like recognition, but it's gone before she can be sure. So the detective asks, why has he stopped? Is he blocking it? Has he blurted out perhaps? She's not really sure, so she keeps prodding him. So the detective asks, well, is he a great liar, as psychopaths are known to speak lies well convincingly? They can convincingly put across their lies. They've got that ability somehow, for some reason. She has a chill run down her spine as she considers the possibility. Oh, jeez, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. I think you might be right. She looks at the man, searching for his face for any sign of deception. He's so convincing, she says, her voice filled with a sense of fear and unease. She believed him completely. She took a step back on his eye and put her eyes on his, had her eyes fixed on the man's face. But what if he's not who he says he is, he asks. What if he's a psychopath, as you say, and he's been manipulating me all along? She feels a sense of panic rising up inside her and tries to take a deep breath to calm down. We have to be careful, she says. She suggests, her voice firm. We can't trust this guy. Well, you prompt him, as you obviously are, Leah. Continue doing it. It's your game. You play it as you see fit. She smiles to herself, feeling a sense of determination and confidence. Okay, let's play it your way, she says, her voice firm. She takes a deep breath, trying to think of a plan, suggesting she'll try to get him to reveal his true identity. She'll do it in a way that makes it seem like she's not suspicious. She looks at the man, her eyes locked on his. I'll try to get him to let his guard down, she says, with a firm voice, and then I'll strike. She takes a deep breath, trying to calm her nerves. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do it, Leah, the detective says. So it continues. She's trying, and this guy is shutting up again, right? A glimmer of recognition, but it's gone before she can be sure. Why is he blocking it, the detective says. It sounds like he's blocking it. Why is he blocking that? He wonders. She's trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, so he suggests, well, you're going to have to play good cop, bad cop with him. And she says, yeah, okay, I'll be the bad cop. You be the good cop, etc., right? We'll work like that. Okay, so he comes out eventually and he says his name is Junio. So she starts prompting him, who the hell is Junio? Right? And the detective's encouraging her to try and get him to crack. So he lends her a taser because he believes that would help. Keep prodding him, using it on him until he eventually cracks. Okay, so she does that for quite a while. He starts to crack under the pain, under the pressure. Okay, and he starts saying, yeah, he's supposed to be this secret agent or something. Okay, Junio, she repeats, her voice firm. Who the hell is Junio? She looks at the guy, looks at the detective, looks back at him. Who the hell is Junio? The man's body is still twitching, convulsing. Tell me more, she says. Junio, he starts to say. Then his voice trails off. So she's prodding him. Tell me, who the hell is Junio? And the detective G is like, yeah. Figure out who this Junio is. Junio is a man. He starts to say, his voice barely above a whisper. Junio is a hacker, he says. His voice firm. A very good hacker. One of the best. Leah feels a chill run down her spine as she listens to the man's words. What do you mean? She asks, her voice firm. What kind of hacker is Junio? The man's eyes flickers, and for a moment she sees something in them, something that looks like a glimmer of fear. Junio is a black hat hacker, he says, his voice barely above a whisper. A hacker who breaks into secure systems and steals sensitive information. She feels a surge of excitement and curiosity. What kind of information? She asks, her voice firm. What does Junio steal? Hey, he said before he was a government agent. Is he lying yet again? She says, no, he's telling the truth. She believes he's telling the truth. Junior was a government agent, but he was also a black hat hacker. He was using his skill to steal sensitive information and sell it to the highest bidder. She looks at the man, her eyes locked on his. But why, she asks, her voice firm. Why did you do it? The man's eyes flicker, and for a moment she sees something in them, something that looks like a glimmer of regret. He was in a deep financial trouble, he says, his voice barely above whisper. I had a family to support and I didn't know how to pay for their medical bills, so I started hacking, selling my skills to the highest bidder. It was a way for me to make money to support my family. She feels a surge of anger and disgust. You're a monster, she says. She's going off track, I think. You're a black hat hacker and you deserve to be punished. She's getting a bit carried away. Okay, she starts declaring that he's a monster. And then he changes his story, saying that he's a slaver, that he captures certain people and sells them on the black market, all that sort of stuff. So he's changed his tune. The detective's asking her, okay, so you have to confirm, we need to get it on tape. He needs to confess what dirty things he was saying to you, as you claimed, Leah. Okay, so this guy's changed his tune. He's a slaver now, not a black hat hacker. A slaver, a kidnapper. It's been established by his confession. Why did he want you particularly, the detectives are asking. Well, this guy says that she was special with this sort of stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the detective is encouraging her to be a bit more harder on him with that taser, etc., to get him to confess, to open up. Okay, so she keeps doing it, and he claims that he's hired by some sort of organisation run by a guy called Victor, and all this sort of stuff. So she's prodding him, prompting him with this taser thing, right? And she says, well, you have to tell us, because the detective's saying, basically, prompt him, push him to give us the names. Keep doing a good guy, bad cop routine until he confesses, he hands over the names, gives up the names. Okay? So, this guy sells out his boss, right? This guy Victor, and tells him where he is. So, the Detective G gets this junior and is to ring up a team at Metro Police Station, and says, go out there to this address, get this guy, bust him. You got to go there armed, because they're like a syndicate, whatever. Probably be armed to the teeth. Go round up these guys, right? Bring them in for questioning, etc., etc. So he goes, okay, yeah. So, yeah, this guy, he does a backstab on this boss, Victor. Okay, confesses. He gives the names, all that, and these cops go and bust him. Yeah, you send the squad over there and bust him. Yeah, and Detective G realizes, wow, she's great. She should be on the team as a cop, not only as a sketch artist, but also as part of the team, as a cop that questions the crimes. She's got this natural way of doing things. Yeah, a little bit over the top with the tasers, but it's like what cops do. To get a confession, a much needed confession, they put a bit of pressure on the person, right? And they finally crack, and then they reveal it all. So he's really recommending her for the team. He's asking the other members. They say, yeah, she's brilliant. From what we've seen, she's brilliant, right? She's got it, right? She just needs the basic training, all that sort of stuff. So, as everybody does, get the qualifications, whatever, go through the training thing, and then come back, join the team, right? And she's basically set up for life. No more foster homes, all that sort of stuff for her. Yeah. No more foster homes for you, girl. You are the girl now, right now. All independent, talented. Don't live that life that you're living anymore. Live the better life that you deserve. you rightfully deserve. We'll help you along the way. Okay. If you want to go to the academy, etc., train up, we will fund you. Okay, we will help you. We're here for you. Okay. She's really, really grateful, and she really wants to do it. Okay. So they basically say, yep, we will help you. Just put this scumbag behind bars, take him to court, and he'll get sentenced. You know. But they do have compassion for the guy as believers in the Christ, etc. They say hopefully jail will give him time to ponder and repent, you know, turn his life around, come to that realization before it's too late for him. And Nia is really grateful that they're welcoming her as a possible member for the team. But of course she has to go through all the basic training, all that sort of stuff. Join an academy, blah blah blah, and then come back and then officially be part of the team. Okay, so she's really appreciative of them, and they start praising Jesus, etc., because they're religious, they're Christian, whatever. Okay, and that's their attitude of gratitude that they've brought this great sketch artist along, and one that's a really determined team member. That would be a really great team member, young and willing to learn, excited, passionate about the job, etc., etc. And she'll have something permanent for life, right? Okay, so we put here as the end of the story, 20 years later. Okay, Leah visits the graves of G, Detective G, D, Doris, and the cleaning guy Bill, and says, I miss all of you guys so much. The community put up a statue of you guys outside the agency. Junior, her husband, remember that guy, Junior the detective, becomes her husband. He smiles as she says that, and she states, I stand at the graves of G, D, Doris, and Bill, the cleaner, feeling a mix of emotions as I look at the headstones. I'm surrounded by Junior, my husband, and our children, who are all smiling at me, at her. She states, I miss all of you guys so much, she says, her voice choked with emotion. You were more than just colleagues, you were my family. Because she had nobody, right? She had no parents, they died, she lied. You know, it's one of those things. She was pretending. They're all dead, they died in a car crash. This guy, the suspect, was actually drawing it. She was trying to figure out how did he know that? Okay, it's only something that she knew, she kept secret in foster home, etc., etc. There was nobody else for her to tell, right? How does this guy know? But it was all true. Okay, she admits that she lied to the detectives, and that her parents had actually died in a car accident when she was a kid. So she says, you were more than just colleagues, you were my family. She looks at Junior, who is smiling at her with tears in his eyes. It's her husband. He became her husband, right? I know I'm not alone, though I hate to say. She says, I have Junior and our kids, and I have the community that you all helped me build. She takes a deep breath and looks at the headstones again. I want to make sure that your memories live on, she says. I want to make sure that everyone knows about the sacrifices you made and the differences you made in the community. She looks at Junior, who is nodding at her. I want to propose something to the community. I say, I want to propose that we put up she said she proposed to the community. She put up a statue that will remind everyone of the sacrifices you all made and the differences you made in the community. Junior smiles at her, and she can see the pride in his eyes. That's a wonderful idea, Leah, he says. I know it would mean a lot to everyone, especially them. Yeah? He nods, feeling a sense of satisfaction and closure. I know it will. The community, etc., will appreciate in memory a memorial of those people that helped to change the community, helped the people within it, treated them like people, human beings, part of the overall community, right? So, if you like this story, give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Add your comments below the video, and then go share this story with all your family, friends and others. We think they will really like it. They'll really enjoy it. It's a great story that we created. We're not saying that she went all religious or Christian or anything like that. She enjoyed the music that they presented her there in that agency office. We'll leave that up to you to decide whether she turned to God, turned to Jesus, etc. As influenced by those particular people who were praising him within the agency and playing that music, the Christian music. Again, 20 years later, she visits the graves of G, D, Doris and the cleaning guy Bill from the agency and says, I miss all of you guys so much. The community put up a statue of you guys outside the agency. That was on her persisting that they did that, right? Okay, that they should not forget them. They should cherish them and hold this memoriam to them, because that's what they always wanted. Rather than that Christians are religious, whatever, they were just suggesting that, right? You know, it didn't really bother them that, you know, if nobody ever did, but she remembered it. So being the head of it, ended up being the head of that agency, running it along with her husband, she decided that's what had to be done. She appreciated them for what they did for her. This poor girl in the rain with nobody, continually living in and out of foster homes. She had no family, etc., etc. They became her family, her best friends. They helped pull her up by the bootstraps, gave her hope, got her a job. Okay, she became a law officer, a detective, and ran the agency with the help of her husband. And she got married, obviously, and had kids. Okay, so if you liked the story, as we said, give us a like, add your comments below the video, don't forget to subscribe to us, and then go share this video, this story, with all those you know, your family, friends and others.